We are back live taking your phone calls. Kurt in Texas. No, next up's Dan in Texas. Dan in Texas, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Thank you, Alex, for taking my call. I'd like you to know that a lot of us couples listen to your show all the time, and my wife made an interesting comment, and I think I'm going to pass it on to you. She would like to see you have more women that are involved in the Patriot movement and the Second Amendment movement on your show as guest. That's just a hint she wanted to pass along. I want to make a comment, since our son is a police officer, that we hear a lot on the talk shows that they're down in the cops. Cops are murderers, cops are out of control, cops, you know. I would like to see more radio personalities take the information they're getting about the bad cops and direct it that way. And please, those of you that are listening out there, don't imagine that every cop pulls you over is going to be out of control or one of the bad guys. Because we're a patriot family, and my son is a patriot, and he treats people with kindness and respect and so forth. And I would just hate for somebody to jump out of a car and blow him away, or you know, whether by gun or by their mouth, you know, because of their belief, you know, or
well, let me
feeling.
Let me just say this. They've got police so scared now that I saw 2 cases this week that I didn't even cover on air, if you thought I was trying to bash police, where they pull over unarmed cars, the cops just get out and unload into the car, shooting people. Or they shoot somebody in the back and then say that, I mean, what about us? We're scared. We're tired of being killed. Am I saying all the police are bad? No. But all over Texas, the police pull you over and say, I want your watch. Give it to me. And the person takes their watch off and, okay, here's my watch. I mean, I just read the San Antonio Express News, one little town where they're stealing everybody's stuff. And I mean, so what I'm saying is the leadership of the police is bad. The feds have, I mean, I just covered Art Aceveda wanting everybody that gets arrested for a misdemeanor to have their blood taken in a DNA database. And the feds are telling him to do that. Now, I know a lot of police, and a lot of police send us information, and I know a lot of police are nice, and I run into them. I understand that. But police are so scared of getting blown away, statistically they have a much better chance of being run over or dying in a car wreck. They'll see them hanging their hind ends out in the highway writing tickets all day. I mean, my whole point is we have a predatory criminal government. And tyranny's going to come to your door in a uniform, as Officer Jack McClam says. So I salute good officers. I see police out changing tires. I see police out helping. And when they do good, I say it. And I always say it's not individuals, it's the system. But, I mean, sir, we're in tyranny. In Germany, the police were bad. In Russia, the police were bad. In China, the police are bad. I mean, do you understand that when you have a bad government, the police, by extension, become that enforcer?
Yes, I understand. But I just want to thank God that our son is not that way, and that, you know, people he pulls over up here will be treated with respect, and he is by the Constitution. Also, Alex, I'd like to say one more thing, and I get off here. I do praise you for your work on the show, and I'm not judging you as such on that particular subject. I'm just saying a lot of people do judge police officers as all of them are bad. No, sir, they're not. I disagree with that with these people.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. But, sir, a lot of people are in denial and saying none of them are bad. I mean, do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, we know there are some bad, because I saw the news story like you, and a cop pulls a gun, shoots a guy in the back, and he was down on the ground, and there was nothing he was doing to resist or anything. Yes, sir, there are bad cops. But I'm just saying I would like for the public to remember that there are good cops, too. And when we get on these stories about the bad cops and stuff, let's direct it toward the bad cops, and let's do remind the public, you know, there are good cops. Let us thank God for the good cops. Let us pray for the good cops as well.
No, I hear you. Hey, Bob Dacey's son is a police officer, and he's a great guy. I remember when he was a little kid. That's how old I'm getting. You know, and I mean, he's a good guy. I'm telling you, though, the government is evil. It's gone bad. And so police need to realize that and say, okay, we're not with this system. Good, they can join us like the state houses are. Hey, I appreciate you and your family.
He's the T-Rex of political talk. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
I want to say this to Dan who called about his son being a police officer and being a patriot. I am not perfect. In fact, I'm far from it. And I have said many times on air, and I've apologized for the fact that I've actually helped the New World Order inadvertently, because the police are in a gang mentality. It's an us against them. You know, everybody's out to get them. All they can trust is fellow cops. That's what they're taught. And so when I come out and yell and scream and hyperventilate at the police, that actually helps them get into more of a paranoid mode, more into going along with tyranny. But at the same time, police are doing unconstitutional things all over the nation. They are basically under a federal directive. Their FEMA camps are being built. The police more and more do act like thugs. I mean, you know, I've been all over the country and asked a cop for directions. In Galveston, Texas, and New York City, they're like, do I look like a phone book to you? Like, hi, officer. Hey, do you know where this is? Do I look like a phone book to you? I've talked to a lot of Austin cops who visited New York, and they'll, hey, officer, where's this? Hey, what's your problem here? Get out of here. I talked to the Austin police chief out there. That happened to him in New York a few months ago, he said. So how do you like being treated like that? But it's more than that. I've had police in Austin, New York, other places walk up and say, turn your cameras off on the street corner. You're not allowed to be out here interviewing people. I go, but I have a First Amendment. Hey, you want me to arrest you right now, Mr. Smart Pants? And you got to go, okay, but I'm going to sue you for this. Please don't violate the Bill of Rights and Constitution. Treat me like a human. They'll start screaming some more. Then they'll get ready to arrest you, and then the supervisor comes over and doesn't want trouble and says, let him go. Now, I know they're training the police to dislike the public. I know they're training the police to feed on the public. And I know that every major jurisdiction we look at frames people all day long. I know the majority of narcotics officers are really drug dealers and plant drugs on people, and that's on record. I know the CIA ships in heroin and cocaine. I know that war on drugs is a fraud. I know all over Texas the police steal everything you got. It's normally smaller jurisdictions where total corruption takes over. The bigger ones just carry out the overall tyranny, but they know to keep the low-level crime down by their officers. Now, are all officers involved in this? No. I mean, I remember when I was in high school and college, I was big into working out. Worked out 2 hours a day. Wish I had the time today, nowadays. And I worked out at gyms, and it was always cops who were in there, and, they'd give me spots. And, I remember being like 18 years old and going, hey, we're going to get something to eat, and going to a restaurant and eating something with cops. Military people, because I look like that type of person. And I know they're just regular people. But the point is they have been incrementally trained to urinate all over the Bill of Rights and Constitution, and I'm not putting up with it. You think the Founding Fathers hated all the redcoats? A lot of them had been redcoats, been in the British military, most of them. Yeah, including George Washington. They were tired of it. Seeing, look. I've been there and watched the APD grab a baby out of somebody's arms with no due process for no reason because it was a poor family and they knew they could steal it with a CPS and get $400,000 for it on the market. I've seen Judge Gene Mira with the family courts threaten parents to sign their kids over to the government for being late to class 3 times when it's not even a violation of state law, the truancy law they're claiming. I have seen it. I've gone out in my car after watching them steal babies and broke down and cried like a baby. It's torn my intestines out. I'm sick of injustice and I'm sick of the bull. And so overall, I'm tired of the TV ads worshiping the police and the military. That's not to worship the police and the military. It's to worship the government and to sell PR because they know the public's getting sick of it. Police were, in most areas of this society, revered and appreciated. And you know why? 50, 100 years ago? Because they had to go after people when somebody stole somebody's goods. They had to go up against real criminals. They had to be in shootouts and hideouts. They had to go after bank robbers. And cops were into being macho and tough. There was still always corruption because you're going to have criminals trying to buy off the police.